Dubai's debt crisis is making investors look with a wary eye at investing in some of the other emerging markets. Sheila Dharmarajan joins us now. Of course, she is with the markets desk, and she's been handicapping some of the other countries that have similar debt structures and just showing us a little bit what the market is showing as far as the fear factor goes. Right, Sheila? Because, I mean, since Thursday, we've really seen quite a bit of sentiment, and really the market's being shaken up.
Right. It's all about these fears of contagion. And what we're seeing this morning, though, is that these fears of contagion are actually dissipating. So when you look at the MSCI Emerging Markets Index, you see that they've rebounded this morning. The statements coming out of the UAE is really helping that out, helping to dissipate some of those fears about contagion. But look, the reality is there still needs to be a lot of clarification that comes out in terms of how this is going to be handled. We've heard some positive comments, but clearly we need a lot more details. And that's still the overhang that is over the market. You know, people are still concerned. Adam was talking about the CDS spreads for certain countries and how they are rising. So there is still this overhang of fear, despite some of the more positive reaction we've seen this morning.
We have to talk about timing as well. I mean, this is pretty close to the end of the year. There was actually a holiday in the Persian Gulf. It was sort of near the American Thanksgiving. So there seemed to be some timing questions about the announcements.
You know, timing is definitely playing a big role into this. And, you know, it could be one of the reasons we might see more weakness in the emerging markets going forward. Look, it's the year end. Investors right now, they're looking to reduce their risk.
And it's been a crazy year.
It's been a very crazy year. You know, they've seen a lot of gains. They're looking to take these risks off the table. And now that we're starting to see these hint of risk peeping through the cracks, even more impetus for investors to sell and just take that money and keep it. I do want to point out, though, about this overhang, some of the countries to keep an eye on are countries that have a high dependence on debt. So emerging market countries where fundamentals aren't as strong, where the growth models potentially aren't as strong.
Latvia is one you've been looking at, right?
Latvia is one, Hungary is one, Greece is one, Ireland. These are all sovereigns that do depend on debt quite a bit. Adam talked about how those CDS spreads are rising. So despite some of the enthusiasm we're seeing in the emerging markets this morning, still some things to keep an eye on there.
All right, Sheila, thanks very much. Sheila Dharmarajan there as for the handicapping of some other countries that are looking at similar debt structures.